Hello YouTubers. Some time ago I made a video about the Chinese Dynastic Cycle. At the time, I made the case that we were in the fourth step, that the fifth step would be a major disaster. My previous video explains how the dynasty started with Roosevelt and that American imperialism was originally used for good. That is, that Teddy Roosevelt was given the mandate of heaven. American imperialism led to wealth and population increase, but over time, corruption became rampant in our imperial government. While I certainly didn't predict a viral outbreak, at the time I basically said that a disaster would happen that damages the economy. That the disaster would normally be manageable, but that corruption prevents that, damaging the economy. I believe that perfectly describes our current situation. There's a link to the video in the description. For those who say you're ignoring critical parts of history, we went through a Great Depression and a Great Recession. The dynastic cycle doesn't imply that there aren't hiccups along the way, but usually even those hiccups strengthen the imperial government during its early life. The Great Depression strengthened American imperialism ultimately, particularly as our entry into World War II is what really kick-started the economy after the collapse caused by the Great Depression. Towards the end of the empire, however, those hiccups show how the empire is increasingly inept at dealing with crisis. A good example is the Great Recession in 2008. What we are currently experiencing may be another, likely worse hiccup. My suspicion is that's the far more likely case, but consider this. The current market crash is something different than what we've experienced before. It's not me saying that, I'm no economist after all, but here's a clip from influential economist Richard Wolff explaining that the current market crash is unprecedented, that there really isn't a situation to compare it to.
Are in a situation for which no precedent exists. We have a crash. We have millions of people losing their jobs, losing their incomes, deciding to stay at home, to travel nowhere. And we have a level of debt linking those people who have no income to every bank, to every pension fund. And this is a network presaging a downturn of the sort where you have to go back to the 1930s, and even that didn't happen as fast as what the last 10 days have shown us. So I cannot, if I'm going to be honest with you, tell you anything other than we are in a very bad situation because having failed to prepare for the virus, we are now seeing the economic downturn consequent upon that failure.
What I know is this. Mitt Romney called for a plan in the United States Senate to give every American $1,000. Now the Trump administration is seriously considering doing something similar. Of course it's a good idea, but that Mitt Romney introduced the idea in the Senate and that Republicans are on board should tell you that there's something fundamentally different about this crash than previous ones. Thanks for your time. If you like this video, please show your support by subscribing.